want to understand Georgia. So only one way to do this. Well,
I had somehow gotten to that point in life, in my 40s where I had thought, oh, there are these amazing joy moments or these really sad low moments. No, you can hold joy and sadness side by side.
You're one of the most
influential voices in the philanthropy community.
Melinda French Gates. I thought I'd been married 50 plus years. For me, I couldn't go forward. There wasn't enough trust any longer. I had days where I thought, I don't know.
Una bambina.
Una bambina.
Una bambina. Un bambino.
Un bambino.
Un bambino.
It's recording, right? Multitasking.
Hey everyone, I've got some.
La bambina beve.
La bambina beve.
La bambina beve. Il bambino beve.
Il bambino beve. Drink.
Il bambino beve.
Mangia.
La bambina mangia.
La bambina mangia.
La bambina mangia. Il bambino mangia.
Il bambino mangia.
Il bambino mangia.
Il bambino mangia.
Huge news to share with you. In the
Una donna, un uomo, un uomo.
last 90 days, 79.4% of our audience came from viewers and listeners that are not subscribed to this channel. There's research that shows that if you want to create a habit, make it easy to...
Una donna.
Una donna. Un uomo.
Un uomo. Donna uomo. Un
uomo.
Una bambina. Una bambina. Il bambino.
L'uomo beve.
L'uomo beve. It's right before Alexis.
By hitting the subscribe button, you're creating a habit of learning how to be happier, healthier, and more healed. This would also mean the absolute world to me and help us make better, bigger, brighter content for you and the world. Subscribe right
La
now.
donna mangia.
Number one healthy wellness podcast.
L'uomo mangia.
L'uomo mangia. L'uomo mangia. L'uomo.
Hey everyone, welcome back to On Purpose, the number one mental health podcast in the world. Thanks to each and every one of you that come back every week to become happier, healthier, and more healed.
You're right about to cause the end of the world. Wow, that's what I need to tell.
Trodden paths that may seem really...
Say that again.
La bambina mangia.
La bambina mangia. La bambina mangia.
We can still connect.
La bambina mangia.
Il bambino mangia.
Il bambino mangia. Il bambino mangia.
Advice, lessons,
La donna
insights
mangia.
that we
La
can
donna
apply
mangia.
to
La
our
donna
life.
mangia.
Today's conversation is going to be
L'uomo
just that.
mangia.
I've
L'uomo
been
mangia.
speaking to Melinda French Gates,
L'uomo
philanthropist,
l'uomo
businesswoman,
l'uomo
and
mangia.
global
Oh,
advocate for
l'uomo.
women and girls. As the
L'uomo.
co-chair of the Bill
Oh, yeah.
Melinda Gates Foundation,
Is it-
Melinda sets the
L'uomo
direction
baby.
and priorities
L'uomo
of
baby.
one of the world's largest...
Anyway, you're talking to the man most likely responsible for a woman not being president.
Melinda founded Pivotal
Oh,
Ventures,
okay,
a company working to accelerate
L'uomo.
the pace of
L'uomo
social
baby.
progress
L'uomo
in
baby.
the United States.
L'uomo
Melinda
baby.
is also the author of the best-selling
bambina
book,
mangia.
Moment of
La
Lift.
bambina
Go and grab
mangia.
it if you haven't
La bambina
already.
mangia.
Please welcome to
Yeah.
On Purpose, Melinda French Gates.
Anyway, I'm only watching this out of
Thank you so
respect
much for
as
being here.
advertising.
I'm so glad we could
I'm
do
only
this.
one.
No, me too.
Because she,
I wanna dive straight in. There's
she
so many
has
questions I
a-
wanted to ask you, but I wanted to start off by saying
Anyway,
you've gone through a lot of changes recently. So you just turned 60.
Well, anyway,
Congratulations.
because you already know the
A
future.
grandmother, I believe. So congratulations.
Yeah,
And I believe.
well, I
your
guess I'll wait
husband
until
just
she's
left
talking. So,
home. And so now you're an empty nester.
because he's editing this shit. He has
Congratulations.
multiple cameras and he's
You've
editing
been
this
through
shit.
so many
Sorry.
changes in your life, and I wanted
Poorly.
to start by
Anyway.
asking you.
I don't
What
know.
are
I mean, I
your
know.
greatest takeaways on dealing with change? The thing that seems to be the greatest constant in all of our lives, but something none of us seem to be prepared for or comfortable
Jesus
with.
Christ, I mean.
How have
Normally,
you
you do not want to change the entirety of human civilization,
I learned to
right?
deal with change pretty early in my life because I went away
Anyway.
for college. A lot of people in my school.
So,
stayed
from
in
my
Texas.
best
I grew up in Dallas.
understanding, Melinda,
And
is that Alexis's boyfriend is a Russian spy.
Excited to go away for college. Excited
And,
to meet new people.
They wanted to erase the time machine, you know.
After I
So
left college, I
basically, the Russians wanted to erase the time machine. So
and went to Seattle.
and it's
to
too
a
late.
brand
It's
new
been like
company,
three
hardly
to
heard
five,
of back
three,
then,
so 4 years
Microsoft.
in your time, right?
And again, I just
4 years in your
jumped in
time
with
for
both
her.
feet, and
5 years
I
in my
found
time
it
for
fun.
her,
I was
and
curious to meet people. So, to me, change
Nobody-
isn't something to be afraid of. It's more something to embrace and say, "Oh, okay, here I am. I didn't expect to be in this place in life,
No
but
shit.
I am now. So, okay, how am I going to make the best of it?" And I try to stay open
mean,
and curious.
You know, like
because
all human
so
beings,
often
Melinda
people will come
Gates.
into your life if you have changed.
Changing Andrew's future changes Andrew's
like,
past.
"Oh, what might this
Now, Andrew is
person
a
be here to
different
teach me, or
person
what can I
now,
learn from
so-
them, or can I connect to them in a different way?" So I don't know. For me, change
I'm
is
a
in
different
certain way kind of
man.
fun, and I embrace it.
Where
I
did that
mean,
mindset
I am a
come
different
from? Because
man.
I feel
Jay
so many
Shetty's a
people
different
have the
man,
opposite
and
experience
Alexis
where
is a different
change
woman.
is scary,
And
change is daunting,
changing the
change is
future
worrying.
changes the past.
I
So
identify with how you
Alexis's
feel about
mother
change.
became
I
dead
chose
when
to
she
do
wasn't
pretty
supposed to be dead.
drastic things early on
And
in my life,
a lot of
which made me very
traumatic things happened to
positive
Lally
towards change
Michelle
because I had to
and Alexis
go
ran
against the grain. I
because
had
they
to
didn't.
disagree with
was
people that
supposed
were
to have,
close to me. I had to
time
not
machine
worry
show.
about what people thought about my choices. And so I feel
Anyway,
the same
so-
as you do, that I've seen change as a positive thing in my
Well,
life.
I mean, I wanted
But
to
when I
talk to
speak people,
Melinda
change is
because
one of the most scariest
if
running
she's
things.
willing to come
Where
on the
did your
show,
positive mindset towards change come from? Was it a family member?
I mean,
was there
just screwed up,
something
you
that
know,
happened early on in your life where you had a
and
change
could not
and you
understand the
adapted well? Where did
paradox.
that come from?
Could not understand
I think
paradox.
it probably was my
Jay
parents.
Shetty could
I mean,
not
my
understand
parents
the
had both grown up in
paradox,
New
so-
Orleans, but then
so-
had gone away when
Anyway,
my
I'm
dad
gonna
went to
continue
graduate
learning
school. They
Italian.
got married and moved
La
across the
bambina
country to
mangia.
California. Then they
La
moved
bambina
back to
mangia.
Dallas. My dad worked on the.
Well, a lot of
this stuff I don't need to know,
Talk
right?
about change.
Okay.
Nobody had ever
La
gone into space
bambina
or gone
baby.
to the moon.
La bambina
And I
me,
saw how
La
excited
bambina
he was, and
baby.
he was
La
excited
bambina
about
baby.
being part of it.
baby.
And
La
then
bambina.
L'uomo mangia.
my parents
L'uomo
gave
mangia.
my siblings
Mangia.
and me, I'm one of four.
It's a lot
very
easier,
middle
mangia,
class
isn't it?
family growing up, but they
Learning
constantly
Italian
gave us the
and stuff.
message, you will be college
La
going.
donna
There isn't a choice.
corre.
You will go to college.
La
And it's a
donna
matter of where you
corre.
go. You go anywhere
Woman
you want to go in
runs.
the country. work
Corre.
your
La
debt.
bambina
We
corre.
highly encourage
La
you to go
bambina
out of state.
corre.
We just think
Corre,
you will
corre,
learn more
corre. I
about
can't really warm my
yourself
arm.
and what you go out of
La
state.
bambina
L'uomo
corre.
I
corre.
think because
L'uomo
they had that
corre.
mindset, I did choose a college.
L'uomo
out of state.
corre.
I went to Duke in North
Il
Carolina.
bambino
And to me,
corre.
it just
Io
became
bambino
kind of
corre.
exciting and fun. And I think
I need to understand Georgia because I'm doing world affairs now.
To
You know.
go somewhere different and
Trying to overthrow the Russian government.
L'uomo
then maybe you're more
legge.
likely to do it later.
Legge,
I
read.
never
Yeah,
expect
legge.
ever
Corre is
to have
running.
the role that I'm in.
Brittany
film,
says I need
but
to
once we
prove to
started
the
this
CIA that my
relation,
brain's
I
fine, you
had the
know.
opportunity to travel the
Melinda,
world,
yeah.
and not that I wasn't already traveling, but I
Well,
really
that's an
had
interesting
gone to
question,
India,
right?
I don't think as many times as I did.
Do
or
I really
so
need to
many different
learn
places in Africa, and I
about
started
your
to
life?
realize that the more you travel, it's like a book. The more books you read, the more you learn. The more you travel, the more
No,
you learn.
more
about
languages you learn, the more you
And-
learn. I was
and
taught that
particularly how
when you
similar
learn a language, you start
And so
thinking like them
I
in the
think
language.
my parents ingrained that in me.
That's beautiful.
That's interesting.
What were your dreams back then? Obviously, your mission is so clear now, and we'll get
That's so
to that, but
manipulative. That's beautiful. That's
wonder,
beautiful.
because when I see the work you've been doing, which is absolutely phenomenal,
Anyway,
the
no.
fact that service is your
I have
entire
learned what
life
kind of
is
man you
so
truly are,
inspiring
Jay
to
Shetty,
me.
in the future.
You know,
and,
something I aspire for in my own life. But I wonder, where did your dreams start?
And that
Going
is
to
an
such
interesting
incredible
ability
institution
human
like
beings
yourself.
have that I don't
Parents who
have,
wanted you
Jay.
to study and
The ability to
perform well,
lie
talk
about your
that
true
Microsoft,
nature.
But what were your
Andrew
dreams back then
cannot
when
lie
you were
about
going
my
to
true
Duke? Like,
nature,
what was
you know.
the sky's the
But you say
limit?
something like that's
What was the
beautiful,
sky
and
at the
that's
time?
that's 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 so
I was lucky
embarrassing.
that in 8th grade, my parents
Manipulating
sent
the
me
thing,
to a
right?
course that
Andrew
my
cannot
dad had
manipulate
been through.
people,
His work had
but
just
regular
recently
human
sold
beings can
called
manipulate
the
people, but I
Successful
cannot.
Life Course, which I kind of
say-
think is a little bit of a funny name
I
now
know.
when I look back on it. But
They
they taught us a couple of things.
Life
One
coaching, right?
was to take
The fundamentals
quiet
of
time in the morning.
fundamental
And the other
life
was to set
coaching
goals.
is lying
You
through your
really have
ass.
goals
So
for your life, and don't necessarily share those with the world. Share them with a couple of people you trust. And so I set a goal of going to college. I set a goal during high school of, hey, I realized I actually want to go to college in computer science. So I picked a university that was good at that at the time. And I knew I wanted to be a professional working woman eventually with children. And so I think that sort of mindset really helped set me on the path to then go on to Duke and then go on eventually to career at Microsoft.
Madonna legge. So at least in language, at least in Italian, the verbs do not have genders. Apparently, legge. I mean, have you know about some of the other languages? It is Madonna legge.
Didn't know. My sister and I went together. Yeah, you just
anyway,
and they gave us a whole bunch of books.
I mean, seeing those all the respect for you because this is in July, and then Alexis and Ellie's interviews in August or something. They're just about to do it.
But in high school, I had these very little.
They had no idea, I guess, or I mean, they had no idea what they were going to do and what the.
We could be anything we wanted to
I mean, I don't know, right?
Incredibly supportive. But the nuns also
they had no idea how important that was going to be.
Silence. There was a chapel in the middle of the school, which wasn't a fancy chapel.
July 8th is the day after. July 8th is the day after Maddie blocks me on Instagram. And once Maddie blocks me, it's game over.
Sent us out to serve. The motto of the school.
Because if Alexis doesn't break up with her boyfriend and ask me on a date, and it's game over.
Just one person can make the difference in the life of another person.
Yeah.
And if you
Butterfly
are lucky
effect,
enough to come to a school like Ursuline and somebody's paying your private tuition, which was my parents, you should serve. And so I served in the local public school 2 miles down the road, and I saw the difference in that public school for those kids versus where I was, or the Dallas County Courthouse, or the local hospital. And so I think those values got embedded very early on.
I need to check if YouTube. This is going to be interesting because I'm studying.
I think about just how
even in 12 years ago,
you may not be exposed to some of these ideas, which seem like everyone should have access to them. And it's incredible that you had a course like that you went to earlier. And I was going to ask you 2 questions about that. What have you found is the value of spending that time alone, both from the course and obviously from the nuns that you got in your school? What have you found? Do you still do that? What has been the greatest value that you've gained from that?
Value is money, right?
I spend time in silence almost every single day. And I just find, for me, it's often in the morning before I exercise or get on my phone or whatever. And I just find that that's the time that you, at least for me, that I can hear myself. I can hear in silence those moments of, I made a mistake yesterday. I didn't quite show up the way I wanted to. I wasn't my whole integrated self. Or, oh, wow, I would really like to show somebody today how grateful I am for them. I haven't gotten to do that in the last week. And so
with
that time
European leaders.
Quiet for me is just, it's a time to really connect to my soul and to I hope integrate all the things that have come over time in my life or in the day before. I also made sure when our kids were growing up that we went around the dinner table and we all said what we were thankful for before we ate our meal. And the only rule was
I'm not uploading the stuff. I record everything I do.
And ideally you'd come up with your own. And even when we'd have tables of teenagers for dinner, everybody did it. And I was always just amazed what came out of their mouths. It was that little moment of gratitude, right? And I think so often if we can stop and be silent and quiet and hear ourselves, then the gratitude comes, and boy, does gratitude help you get through a lot of things in life, even hard things.
For sure. And the second thing you mentioned there was
I am not happy with my past being erased, Melinda. This man that you're talking to is probably contributed to erasing 8 years of my life and compromise American national security. I am not happy about Melinda. Andrew's not happy. Because from my understanding is I should have been kicking ass for America since 2012 as soon as I met Alexis
You're
Ren.
going to have a lot of critics. You're going to have a lot of people who say, no way, you want to go to that university, you can't make that, or you want to be that in life. No, not a chance. But if you
Very
trust the
cynical.
people who have your back and have your interest in mind,
Yeah, I know.
they will help you.
I do
reach
not
your goal
trust
or
this
find
man
your dream
next to
or
him.
advance you towards your dream. And I found
my
that
dream
to
would
be
have been
very
like if I
true
was
all
supposed to
through
marry
life.
Alexis, I just
And it
marry
becomes
Alexis.
incredibly
But
important to
I do not trust
cultivate
this man
those
across from you from
relationships with those
accomplishing
trusted
to
people,
talk
and vice
to
versa, that you become there in
Georgia
their small
about the
circle of
possibility
trust.
Yeah.
about the
We
possibility of
made
a
one
time
of two
loop.
mistakes. We either
Well, you did
tell
make a mistake, but
everyone
that's a pretty
everything,
damn fucking big
or we
mistake.
tell one person
Erasing my
everything. So we
fucking
either
past. I
want everyone
mean,
to have all the answers to all of our questions, and
random
it's so right
person's
that if
past
you
that
tell
I
everyone
erase
plans,
and nobody cares,
everyone's going
but
to have an
Andrew's
opinion
past.
about your plan. And that opinion
I mean,
may actually discourage you and disempower you because
opinion
we're
is
so opened up and exposed to people's opinions about us.
talk
And
to
the opposite is
Georgia
also true, that
about
if you
the
only tell one
possibility
person, that
of
can be really hard
us
as well,
being
because that person may
the
not
world
have the
being
tools,
the
the
world being in a
resources,
time
or the
loop.
experience to guide you.
Being
And so
trapped in a time
having
loop.
this council of wise advisors or guides
Talk to
or
Georgia about the
mentors
possibility of the world being in a
well
time loop.
wishers
You know,
and friends
that
can
would
be
not be
such a
good.
powerful thing. I think when people are setting goals, it's probably one of the biggest mistakes we make today, where we announce it on social media to the whole world, or we tell
What the fuck
everyone
is
in our
wrong? I
WhatsApp
mean,
chat or group chat or whatever. it may be,
what's
and it
wrong
can
with
be
that? I
really
mean, you're
tough.
supposed
You're
to.
fortunate that you
I mean, you're
do
supposed to
some
let the whole world know that if
experience
Alexis and
that
Andrew
helps
doesn't
you.
fall in love, we might actually all
What's a lesson
die, and then.
that you wish
And you
had
think
learned?
that
What's a lesson
Captain
that you
Idiot
learned
sitting
later
across
on
from
in
me would
life
actually
that
know
you
about
wish
it,
you
but
had
he
learned?
doesn't. Because he's doing an interview for next month with them, and they absolutely nothing to help.
You know, I think you
Help,
also,
because
I have
break
two
up with the
children
boyfriend,
now in
basically. The
their 20s,
boyfriend
so
had,
children
I
are grown,
mean, possibly,
you
but
learn a lot when you're parenting your children.
never mind the fact that
I'm
their
appreciative
actions will
of
actually
that.
cause
You
Kamala
have no
Harris
idea
the
what patience is
election.
until you have
He
children.
doesn't. He might not
Until
know. I mean,
you
he might know.
are
He might know. I
trying
mean,
to
I don't
pass your
remember. I don't know.
values on. You have to really kind of
No.
sit with, okay, what are my values? I thought I knew them, but am I living them so that I can pass them on? I would say one lesson I learned later
Nobility
in life
is
was
interesting.
that the world really isn't built for everybody.
This one's on.
You know, I
What does that
kind
mean?
of, I kind of assumed when I left,
know.
I was in such a supportive environment in high school with this all-girls school, that when I went
Michelle
out to
saying,
university, you know, I just met so many different people of different walks of life, which was fantastic
Yeah.
and widening, and
Alexis
helped me grow.
never really. She
But
doesn't
as
seem
you
like
go
the
in your
diplomacy
professional
type, you know.
career,
Not that
I
Andrew's
just
doing diplomacy
saw
anymore.
began to see so many blocks for women and people of
Yeah.
color, where I just assumed when we left university we would have the same opportunities as
donna
men.
legge.
Or,
La donna legge.
even as I traveled
Il
for the
bambino
foundation, I just
legge.
assumed
Il bambino
if we
legge.
were getting
Cole is
more
right.
technology
Legge.
out in the
La
community,
bambina
it
legge.
went to
La
men
bambina
and
legge.
equal.
Little girl
That was
is.
just a completely false assumption.
Yeah, I know.
And I think I didn't realize
Yeah,
how
I
the
know.
world
La
had
donna
been maybe
legge.
inadvertently
That's
set
La
up
donna
for
legge.
men.
La donna
And,
reads. La
You
donna
know, I had
legge.
to go back and learn
La
some
donna
history to
corre.
understand how
La
did we
donna
get where we are, to
corre.
say,
I
okay,
can't
how
roll
did
my
we
R's.
start to
La donna
maybe
beve.
La donna
celebrate
beve.
some of that
La donna
change.
beve.
What was
That's
the
an
first
interesting
lesson you
question.
had in your
Mangia.
life?
La
Like you
donna
said,
mangia.
you had none saying to you, you can be anything you want.
La
and
donna mangia.
opportunities are
Italian.
available. You had that training. When was the first
Il
time you
bambino
had personal
beve.
Il bambino
experience
beve.
of, oh, I don't
That's an
actually
interesting
have
question,
the
right?
same types of
Because I'm learning
opportunities?
Italian.
Well, when I went
I am
to
learning
science
Italian
at
saying
Duke,
it'll
there
be
were some women
il
freshman year.
bambino man.
By sophomore
Baby.
year, there
Il
was
bambino
me
baby.
and maybe a couple of others.
That's what
And I
remember.
realized that a lot
Il
of the
bambino
young
legge.
men
Il
freshman
bambino
year were
legge.
better
I'm
trained
thinking
than I was in
il
the
bambino
first
legge.
place. So they were
What
already
are you
coming in
hearing,
step up,
right?
which is why we lost so many women.
The
I was
boy
doing
reads,
well
right?
enough, thank God,
That's
that
what
I
I'm
could
thinking.
persist and keep
Inside your
my,
brain, you're hearing English.
self-esteem up to move through
And that is,
to continue on.
Probably part of
But I
the.
just started to realize part of the reason we
I saw
don't
that.
have more women
You're
in
hearing,
computer science,
all
and look
English,
how
right?
important technology's
All
become in our
English.
society. We still
The
don't
language
have
you think
nearly
in.
enough women in the tech sector.
The scary
creating
part that
products.
I understood
because
so
we haven't offered
so well.
the right. There are many reasons, but we haven't.
because
for instance,
Melinda
offered the right
inside our
classes to
brains
young
the
women, so
thought
when they go to
read
college,
the word
their
read
confidence is
the
up, they're
action read
programmed as much as
is
young men, or
read
that opening
in thought.
freshman class
inside Andrew's
is a
mind there's
creative
this
class, not
brainwave
just a coding
that
tech
constructs
class.
the
So
thought
we just-
read the
We
concept
have whole
read
industries,
So the
for
boy
instance, in the United
reads
States
in
that just
English
are not
is-
as welcoming
the
to
boy
women in
reads.
politics.
When I say
We're not at all welcome.
what was that? Legend? I have to believe it.
On the campaign trails.
Il
so
bambino
much more
legge.
than
Yeah, it was. I remember.
And they will
Il
tell you if
bambino
they
legge.
run their
The boy
campaign,
reads.
say they wanna
You're
become a
actually
state
hearing the
senator.
thoughts the boy reads,
They
not
have to
not
have
Il
had
Bambino
a certain
legge.
amount of money.
'Cause Il Bambino
which is
legge
why
is in
men
Italian.
usually will have more money
Right.
by a certain
Il Bambino
point in their
legge.
life saved
I mean,
up to be able to run. Or
if
a
you don't
buddy will
know,
come in and will
I mean,
fund their buddy to be in politics. So
Yeah.
there are just many places where there are roadblocks and barriers for women and people of color that don't necessarily.
Kamala Harris is about to get
I think we
announced
need
as
to
the
look at
presidential
those
candidate.
and take some
And,
of them down, so
I was
everybody
supposed to
can-
help
can
her
rise
win
up into
president,
positions of
but
power or use their full
because
creativity.
of the stupid shit this man did, and Kamala Harris is not going to be president.
What
So,
were some of the key moments or key points of history?
what is a key moment?
Worthy of studying for people
Well,
to look back
I mean, you
at
have to
and
go
educate
back to
themselves
2000.
on? I think it would be
I
valuable.
mean, you have to
Well,
change
for sure,
2000.
the U.S. Constitution. I mean,
You have
there
to
are no
you
women
have to
in the
change
room
2000. You
writing
basically have to
Constitution.
change
There are no black people in
Alexis.
the room writing the Constitution.
You have to change
If you
Alexis
try to
4 years ago,
imagine
basically,
what
or
we might
a year
have
ago to break up with the
devised
boyfriend a
with
year
other
ago,
people at the
and
table,
have her already
you have
asked me
not
out on a date,
counted women
and
as
if she asked me
can't
out on a
vote,
date,
not smart enough to vote, or
then
black people as slaves, and so
Kamala
on.
Harris will become president.
You would have created a society, if the right people were at the table, you would have created a society that was probably more equal for everybody.
Yeah, and I
if
probably
we're-
could have done
we're
that,
going
but
back and looking at that piece of
and part of it
history,
is
we're
the
looking at,
the
I just-
trauma Andrew's gonna
I
go
couldn't
through.
understand as
Past
I
Andrew.
go out for the foundation
Past
and
Andrew,
meet so many women and so
it is
many
August
communities
17,
in Africa,
2025 for
Southeast
me.
Asia,
I must have mentioned that, right? Sunday, August 17,
and no longer
2025.
did. And they kept saying,
I am a
why?
11
Why don't we have them? You
I mean,
have them in
I
your
am
country.
13
Why
months in
don't
the
we have
future.
them? We used to.
Andrew's
And
13
it's
months in the
like
future,
I had to
so
literally learn the history of contraceptives around the world. What had happened with those, and even where my own
Il
religion, I grew
bambino
up Catholic,
mangia.
where
Il
the
bambino
Catholic
mangia.
Church had not wanted women to have
Il
contraceptives
bambino
and blocked
corre.
even
in
funding
bambino
for that.
corre.
And yet, we
Yeah,
know
the
that if a
church
woman
speaks
has
Italian,
access to
sort of.
contraceptives, she's healthy.
Catholic Church.
Her family, her kids are
La
healthier, and the
bambina
family's
beve.
wealthier. And
La
it
bambina
lifts a
beve, the
lot of
girl.
poverty.
This is
And
gonna
so I had to
girls.
learn
Il
that whole
bambino
history
mangia.
before I
Il
was able
bambino
to say,
mangia.
okay,
Well,
am I
there
gonna
we go.
step into this
Le
very
bambine
controversial
bevono.
issue? I'm Catholic.
Le
I have
bambine
a deep
bevono.
faith.
Bambine le? It's a le?
But what's the
I'm gonna
right
go
way to
with
step in also?
La
I maintain
bambine.
my integrity and what
Le
I've seen,
bambine
but
bevono.
La
potentially
bambine bevo.
move this
Boys,
issue forward because
bambine.
it
Boy,
literally is a
bevono.
life and
Le
death
bambine
situation
bevono.
often for women.
Bevono.
They have their
Oh, that's
children
a
too
nope.
close
It
together
isn't.
and their bodies are
Ah,
I
As a
bambini
creator,
mangiano.
I want to
I
bring you
bambini
great
mangiano.
content. If you're a creator or an entrepreneur,
Oh, that's right. Bevono
looking to
mentioned the
become
shit. They
one,
gave me the code.
you know that one of
I
the
bambini.
biggest challenges
Bambini,
is
bambini.
making enough money to
Ah,
earn
well, I got it one
doing what you
wrong.
love. That's where Kajabi comes in to help. When you don't have a
uomini
huge
bevono.
team to help build your business, when it's just you, Kajabi gives away sometimes.
Well,
Often there's so much more complexity in
your sponsors are gonna be absolutely half hilarious.
How do you tread that
Gli uomini
carefully, also
bevono.
recognizing that
Gli
there's still
uomini
the
bevono.
Gli uomini.
Gli uomini
So,
bevono.
This
Gli
was all
uomini
around
bevono.
2011 and
Gli uomini
2012
bevono.
that
You
I
uomini
knew
bevono.
we needed to have
Gli.
more contraceptives
Le
in the
bambine
world. We needed to
corrono.
further this
Le
issue. I
bambine
knew the
corrono.
foundation could play a
Corrono.
role in that.
That sucks. I mean,
L'uomo
I started to realize
L'uomo
that probably
beve.
my voice in that would make a
the
difference.
man drinks
as a
and
female.
this is gonna be
And
hard.
I will be honest, I was
La bambina corre.
terrified.
They're-
to speak out on
shit,
this issue.
corre,
Yes,
corre,
I was
right.
using
La bambina
contraceptives.
corre.
Yes, I was
Ah, one. No, I'm sorry.
educating my
Not being
children
corre.
about their bodies and what they should do long term.
Anyway.
But to step out on the world stage and say, this is what I
Le
believe,
donne
and know I would be
mangiano.
attacked by
Le
my
donne
own church.
mangiano. Donne is woman.
As a
Le
little girl, when I
donne.
sat in the pews,
That
you know,
women
I saw
won't
who was
eat.
at the top of the church.
Le
I knew that
donne.
wasn't something
La
I
donna
wanted.
mangia.
And so
Le
I had to
lo-
do several
la
things.
donna
First, I took
mangia.
a lot of time in
That
prayer
is fascinating.
to
I bambini
think about what do I
leggono.
believe, why would I
Leggono,
do this, what are the
leggono,
ramifications for
leggono.
me, my children, my
Bambini,
parents, my
children,
family,
little boys.
what are the ramifications for the
Il bambino
foundation,
legge.
who can I
Le bambino
have
legge.
support me
That is
will help me learn and
bambini
improve
legeno.
and
Legge
do this in the right
legeno
way.
is
I also,
plural for Italian.
Gli
That's
uomini leggono.
I started listening
Le
to
uomini-
very liberal
le uomini
Catholic
leggono.
priest Richard Rohr
Gli
and his
uomini
writings.
leggono.
Le
That
uomini
was
leggono.
incredibly
Uomini.
helpful to me
Uomini.
to realize you could push against some of that.
Gli uomini
Some of those
corrono.
man-made rules. And
Gli
I
uomini
listened to a lot
corrono.
and read
Gli
a lot of
uomini
Benny
corrono.
Brown's
This is
books.
going to be interesting because
Gary
it's
Le
not
donne
plural.
leggono.
Hugely helpful.
Le donne
because I
leggono.
literally felt like I'm just going to
Le
step off the
donne
precipice
leggono.
and talk about
Le
this
donne-
issue.
Le
And I
donne
did eventually
corrono.
get attacked by
Le
the
donne
Catholic
corrono.
Church and attacked from both the
Damn,
left
that
and
is-
the right.
Yeah.
But it was okay. And the reason it was okay
Yeah,
was,
see?
one, I had
Le
already
bambine
talked to my
leggono.
kids about
Le
it, talked
bambine.
to my parents, the people I care
Being
about
attacked
the
by
most.
the country.
But also, I knew what I had seen in the developing world. I knew what women were asking me.
Yeah.
And I knew this made a
Well,
difference in
I
their
do. I
life.
mean, I do have
And so how could I
something
have this
encouraging
platform and be in this position
for
and
you.
then be willing
for-
to share their lives and their stories with me, and me not use my voice? That didn't make any sense. So I really
Well,
wrestled with
think
all of
about it.
that.
I mean,
Probably
So America gives
10,
women in
12
Africa
months
contraceptives,
before I
food,
really
and medicine.
and again,
And guess
I
what
have
Russia
written
and
some
China
really
gives
female friends
the
around
bad
us
man
who
that
wanna
rapes
do
them?
this, and it's going to be scary, but I could sort of talk
Assault
it through
weapons.
and work it
Assault
through,
weapon.
right?
The Russians and
And
the
then when you
Chinese
take
give
that
them
one
assault weapons.
courageous step,
And who do you think
and then it
wins?
does
I
start to
mean,
snowball, and it
America
goes
wins
better
with the
than you
medicine,
think, in some ways
food, and
worse in some ways than you thought,
and
but okay.
condoms, I guess.
Then you're
and
not
birth
as afraid.
control.
For me, I wasn't afraid that
And
other
Russians
courageous
and
steps
Chinese
I
give
would
them
take
assault
about
weapons
it.
and to rape the women. And who do you think, the rapists with the guns
Personally,
or the
I
people with
really
food?
like what
Rapists with the
matters
guns,
at a
people with the
very core
food.
level.
Rapists with the guns or the people with food. So well, I have great news for Melinda Gates. We're not going with the fucking bullshit anymore, which is good. We're actually changing American foreign policy about what we are doing. So Russians kidnap Alexis Ren with a Russian boyfriend. I fucking overthrow the Russian government. I think maybe so.
And then the idea that it took you 10 to 12
Yeah.
months, I love hearing that. Because I think we often think that our best decisions or big decisions are instant and we know it and you kind of flow in the moment, but often
Yeah, that's what Roddy does. Roddy floats in the moment. You like to plan shit.
across a period of time.
I don't know.
And so
I don't know if that's
I
a
think that's really
good
valuable. You
suit.
talk about
I mean, that's
you
not
know,
my
talk about your
style.
experiences with
I think,
imposter
yeah.
syndrome, because I can
That's not my
imagine
style.
even when you're trying to make these changes, and maybe even earlier on in life, maybe what was your earliest experience?
That
with
mean,
imposter
you know.
Oh gosh.
Well,
Probably
because
the
think about it real
foundation.
hard, right? If we do not eliminate all the authoritarian
Yeah, the first
governments
10
trying
years
to
of the
create
foundation's life,
chaos
I felt like an
in
imposter. Here I am.
Africa and other
I'm
countries,
a computer scientist. I knew
what would
that
be the fucking
background. I'd
point,
gone to
right?
business school, so I knew
Like, I mean,
economics.
we give them
But here we
contraception,
are
we
in
give
a
them
whole
medicine, give them
different
food,
field. I mean,
and then there are
literally,
men
it's a
with
whole
guns and come over to
career
rape
field.
them, and
I'm learning
then
about
they say,
biology,
"Oh
I'm
my God,
trying to
America, why did you
understand
not
from
stop them?" And it's
people in global health what can be done. I'm
Yeah.
I'm learning from doctors. I'm learning from community
Yeah.
health workers on the ground. But I just
it's a
I didn't feel like I could
transformative,
ever know enough to speak credibly on this
yeah,
topic. 'Cause I
transformative,
didn't go to school in global health, or I wasn't a doctor. But it took
because
some
it matters.
time,
It matters
and
who
then
has the
someone
guns.
actually
It
inside
matters
the
who has the
foundation,
guns.
who was working
sorry,
for
I'm
me,
2040.
came to me and
It
wanted me to
absolutely
speak out
matters
something. I
in
said,
the
no,
world
I
about
don't
who
feel
has
like
the
I know
guns.
enough. And this woman said to me, she
Who's
said,
willing to
"Are you
feel so
kidding?
chaos?"
Just look at all the traveling you have done. Like, go back and let's look at
Yeah.
all the trips you've done and all the knowledge
And
you've
Melinda,
amassed."
I
She
think
said,
we need
how
to.
many people
We
have
need to.
ever done that kind of travel in that way, to be in these communities and to be at the tables where the scientists, I could come back
Yeah.
and scientists would explain things to me and I could ask. And I thought, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I guess
How much do you know about temporal
I'll
science,
never
right?
know everything. No one will ever know everything on the
Yeah.
history of the earth. But I know enough to know what I know deeply at a
I know.
core level and to speak
How
those truths.
how fucking
And I
cool it
started
is
to really
to have a
deeply
man that's
value,
responsible for the
women
creation of the
doing
earth.
that because I could speak on
alive
behalf of so
today
many
for people to
that I
talk
had
to.
met and who
You know the
really
giant
knew their
impact
values or
hypothesis,
shown me
right?
the
How
tough
Earth formed
circumstances
as
of
a
their lives.
as
And I
a
thought, okay,
giant
I
solid
just
rock,
gotta get over
and
this.
our theory was that it
If
in
they've spoken to me,
Lagrange
I
point
need to
on the other
speak
side of
truth in the world.
the sun,
And so,
another planet formed,
again, I
and
think
somehow
the first
the orbit
ground that I
decayed,
picked up was
and
the
then
gifts of
the two things
And I
collided and
learned
created
to
enough
embrace
inertia
all these places in me that I
to
do
create
see as
life on
imperfect.
Earth
I
because
still
of that
see it as
decaying
imperfect. I'm an imperfect person. You're an
decaying
imperfect person.
decaying
We're all that.
planet forming in
But to
Lagrange point
embrace
one.
those parts of myself
That's
instead
not
of
how
push them away
planets
and say, but I'm
form.
probably enough.
That's not how
I'm still
planets form,
enough
Melinda.
to be this mess.
The only way for it to
Yeah,
happen
that's
is
what people are listening
a
to
secondary
watching
object from
happen. It's so
interstellar
easy
object
to-
hitting us, which means
there's goodness in that belief. Like I've always found
that's why we
that
have a tilt.
when I do doubt
you know?
myself,
Yeah.
there's actually beauty in that because it's a humility in accepting that I don't know. There's
No
a,
shit,
there's a goodness
Jay.
in accepting that I don't have everything figured out. I actually think
Yeah,
we
because
often
you
play
are.
down that so much
It is
that we
August
make it
17,
sound
2025.
like it's
I know
terrible
what
to
kind of man
imposter
you
syndrome,
are
but
now.
to me,
I'm pretty
anyone
sure.
who has conscience or a reflection mechanism will feel that
Yeah.
pretty much whenever they grow into a new phase. So I find it very useful to display to me
You need to change
what's
it to be a
missing,
good
what I've not
man.
learned yet, what I need to
Be
study,
honest.
what I need to
you know.
become educated about, focus on. How would you guide and advise people
Too late,
that sitting here
for
listening to
you.
us and they're thinking,
Too
"Linda, I
late
don't
for you
feel
to
like I'm
fix the
enough. I
timeline.
feel like I'm not well placed. I don't know enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not whatever else it may be." How would you guide them through that?
Well, I
Well,
think it's what you said. You have to actually see the beauty in the
Yeah.
imperfections. Somebody one time
the
gave me a heart
desire
and
to
had all
grow,
these sort
the
of holes in
desire
it
to
in a funny
change
way.
is
And I was going through
flaws.
something
You
really
know,
tough.
that's
And
very true.
she's part of my spiritual group. I'm also in a spiritual group, a non-denominational spiritual group. And she gave it to me and she said, "Melinda, this is probably like your heart right now. Like you thought it was kind of perfect, but no, it's imperfect. But it's those holes and those difficult places that have
Well,
formed
if you
into
still want to
who
help
you
women
are
and
now as a
girls,
person."
you have plenty
And
of
so
money, right?
I would say to
But
people,
we need
start by looking at what messages you grew up with in your home.
What is the best thing you
What
could do to help
messages are
women,
you getting
Melinda?
in your
And
workplace?
I
What
mean, you're
messages
talking
are
to a man
society
who's
giving
influencing
you?
women, right?
And are those
And
possibly not
should women
true?
listen to him?
And
Yes.
start to say to yourself,
Are they
yes, there are
not
places in me that are
true?
imperfect. And I agree with you. I think
Yeah.
looking at those helps us remain humble and not
Teaching women how
narcissistic or
to
in our
be-
egoic self.
To spot
embracing those
liars
and
and
saying, but
spot
there's
advice
beauty
that are
in those,
bad
and what can
advice.
I
That
learn
is the
from
thing.
that? But I do think once you embrace
That is the
those
most
parts
gift
of
you can
yourself,
give to
at
women.
least
To
for
not
me, I just know I
not
feel more
take
integrated
bullshit
and
and
more
believe
of a
the
whole
bullshit
person,
is
right?
wisdom.
And then sometimes
Not
you
take
also
bullshit
need to go
and
back
believe
and
that
make
bullshit
amends.
is
There are times
wisdom.
where you've
That's how
really,
you do it.
made some mistakes or said
Yeah.
something hurtful to someone, and once you embrace
That is the
those
thing,
pieces, going back and making amends.
If you're afraid of
also,
hurting
I
someone,
think,
you're afraid of you
again,
lie.
helps you feel better about your core.
What is the
self,
thing
because
that does
then
not
you are
hurt?
living even more in the
Lies.
truth and the beauty of who you
Truth,
hopefully want to be.
truth might hurt.
What else do you do in the
Truth might
spiritual
hurt.
group, and how did you?
And that is the
what does
problem
that
that you
look
cannot.
like? As people,
If
I'm
you
sure
try to,
listening and
if
watching,
you try
also
to
want have
hide
a spiritual group, a
hitting
community, a
people,
tribe,
you
what does that look
lie.
like? What
That
do
is
you
the
do,
thing
and how
you
does it
do.
function?
You
Yeah, so
the
the
first thing
eight
you
of
do,
us
you
were
don't want to hurt
in
someone's
this
feelings.
group.
You
We formed
lie,
it in 2001.
and that is not
At
acceptable.
the
So
time, we all had
that's how-
small children,
you know.
going through school, and we
anyway,
were of different religions. Actually, one or two were
Yeah,
just
yeah, spiritual
no
group and
religion
different.
at all.
I'll
And
just
we just
listen.
agreed that we would meet monthly, second Wednesday of the
I
month.
think I've
and
told you
we
now.
would pick a reading,
I mentioned it
book,
right. Andrews didn't know
and
that
we would
Alexis
all
Ren had my past, you know.
be with it, sit with it.
And the moment
read
I
it,
fell in
whatever it
love with
was.
Alexis a
We
little
all
bit, I
committed to
started
taking
getting
some
some of
time
my
in
past
silence
back,
every
some of
day,
my
even if it
past
was
back.
only 10
Probably not
minutes.
all of it.
And then coming
And
to
I
the
do
group
not
and having
know
it be
if
a
I need
trusted
to,
circle
if we
where
need to
can
get married
share
or
our
fall in love
innermost
as soon
thoughts
as our
about
life
that
together
spiritual
for me
reading,
to
about
get
something
most of
going
my
on in
life,
our
my past together.
And,
So
just
Andrew
became a
lost
group
8 years
that
of my
became
past.
central to my life. And
8 years
I
of
would say vice
erasure of
versa.
a
I
time
think we're
machine,
doing
you know.
incredibly well. And
And
there are trials and
the real danger
tribulations and
about this
losing
is
a parent or not sure
if you
which
can
way
do
how the marriage
this,
is
you
gonna
might be
go,
able
or,
to
gosh, I
reset
didn't
time
parent
into
very
the
well
past
in
for
that
Andrew
moment,
and then
or
generate
here's
another
where
past.
something has touched
Even
me
even
deeply
farther
in my
back.
life, nature.
And
And then
if
we
if
all
you're not
say a
careful,
retreat at
if
least
people are
once a
not
year.
careful, you can generate a
And
time
we're
loop.
in silence usually for 2 or
Time
3
loop.
days. Sometimes we'll have a leader come and guide us through that.
The problem
Other
was
times
the
we've done it
possibility
enough
of
now that
creating
we
a
kinda go
time
on
loop
our
that
own.
Andrew cannot detect.
But it's just
If
a
I
place
cannot
of
detect a
deep,
time loop with other
close
human beings
community where I
connected,
would
like
say
that
we
we are
can touch
looping
one another's
time,
souls and touch our own
that
souls.
is the end of human
Wow.
civilization.
And
You're
you've been
talking
doing
to a
it
man
since
that could have
2001.
contributed to
Uh-huh.
killing
Wow.
That's
everyone
over
on
20
planet
years,
Earth.
yeah.
That's
Because Because a time loop is unexitable
What is-
for the human race if we
with
cannot
a
detect the
community
time
like
loop.
that, how do you select who gets to be a part of it, because I guess life was very different.
I mean,
years ago.
God
Everyone goes through so
selected
many
it.
different
Alexis thought you were
phases.
wise, so Alexis
How do you pick who stays?
did a
who
podcast
leaves,
with
who
you in
goes,
2021,
and build that together?
and you gave her
So-
absolutely horrible
Well,
advice,
at the
right?
time that we formed the
So-
group, we didn't all know each other. So there was
Yeah.
connective tissue between, I would say, 3 of us,
Yeah.
who then brought in others.
When I
into
talked
the
to
group,
Alexis,
and
that was
we
like the
formed
third
enough
video that I
trust
talked to
over
Alexis
time
in
that we
over
knew, you know, the information wouldn't
I would
go
say 12
outside
years.
the group. You didn't go tell
12
your
years, yeah.
spouse or certainly your children.
it was
or
12
mother.
years since I talked to
And we had
Alexis.
one
When
hiccup with one
the
person
podcast in
who
2021 was like the
just
third
over
or
time that
fourth
person
one
just
I
kinda wanted
talked to
spin out,
Alexis.
and so
I hadn't talked to
that was
Alexis in
okay.
12 years. I had
But
no
it
idea,
just
no idea.
became
So
this place of trust
and
and life lessons and sort of milestones. We've been through so much together, and I
it's
wouldn't
pretty
say
bad,
that
but
we
now I know
all
the
are
truth.
best
After a
friends.
year,
like some of us are
I know
closer
the
than
truth,
others,
and,
or the groups reform based on somebody
it's
losing
pretty
a
bad.
parent, but we're just there.
What
for
happens
each other.
when something
Like we
bad?
have each other's backs, and it was when I was thinking about coming out on
It was like
talking
an
about
Oscar or
contraceptives
something.
and being a bit more public for the foundation, which I hadn't been before. I talked it through with
it's
this
like an
group
award
first.
or something.
They were one of the first places I said, I'm going to do this, and I am terrified.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely
What decoration would
terrified.
you have
And
decorated
I knew
in
there
the
could
podcast?
almost be a trust council for me to tell me the truth.
And the
Like,
color
look
schemes.
here, be careful
of the
there.
podcast.
Know you're going to be okay. And it's almost like we kind of grew up together.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
And
I
these are
don't. I
peers.
mean,
They're
I don't
just-
have a
at
choice
the time,
about.
they're just people you're meeting, because I think often we feel like we have to be surrounded by like everyone who's 10 years ahead of us and
That's right.
15 years ahead of
Continue.
us, and everyone has to be a mentor, but we
Sure.
underestimate just how much our peers and the people that are going through life at the same time, at the same pace, are
Anyway.
so powerful in our lives, and we underestimate
Il
the people
bambino
behind those
mangia.
stories.
We do
Io
sometimes.
bambino
and,
mangia.
you know,
Anyway,
many
I think
people are
most of
maybe
Beve.
5 or 6 years older
you're a
than I
baby.
am.
Yeah.
But you also don't know, like one of them that's very close to me in age, her husband was one of my
La
best
bambina
friends,
maybe.
and we lost him at age 37. I mean, who expects that?
bambine
You know, and you're in your
bevono.
30s.
La bambine
and
bevono.
she was her
I
husband, I was one of my best
bambini
friends.
The bambino
So
mangia. They're
these-
making me
these
do the
moments
ones that
also
I failed.
form
That's so cool.
you and, you know, help shape who you become. So yeah, it doesn't
Gli
always
uomini
have to be
bevono.
somebody old.
Gli uomini
And in
bevono.
fact, because my
Io-
youngest
io-
daughter,
Le bambine
I have the
corrono.
youngest of all the
Le
children. in the
bambini
group. My last one was
corrono.
the youngest. I ended up also, though, not in my spiritual group, but
L'uomo
with other
beve.
friends
L'uomo
then
beve.
who
And
were younger
La
than me.
bambina
And that
corre.
was
La
lovely
bambina
too. There's a
corre.
lot of wisdom there.
Corno,
You know,
corno.
I have
No,
three
that is
other
just corno,
siblings.
not
I am
easy.
extraordinarily close to my brother.
Well, they fixed it. I mean, I got the perfect one now.
Le bambine
So it
leggono.
has much more to
The
do with
bambine legano.
is the person on a growth path, right? And
Anyway,
then can you truly
let me
learn
go
from
tell you.
Absolutely. We're talking about having an addiction to perfection.
Alexis and Ali
I think
Rochelle
that's
has
something
a
that
problem
a lot
with
of us
perfection.
deal
And,
with. What's
they'll
your
never be.
relationship with perfectionism now?
They've been doing We Are Warrior things about perfection in my past because they already met me
Walk us through, what would it look
in
like?
in their time.
dressing right, saying the right thing in
Yeah.
you know, at even like a dinner party or a cocktail party or something like this. What if I messed up and said the wrong thing on a podcast? Oh my gosh, you know.
It
and
would
so
not matter
It was
one little
horrible.
bit.
It was absolutely horrible. It was zapping my energy.
It would not matter one bit. I
and it
mean,
was driving the people around me, I finally realized, crazy too. Like somebody,
well, you know,
who would help prepare me for something
Melinda?
at the foundation if I was going on a trip. You know, I was grabbing
You
all these
are-
facts and figures, and it just was so unnecessary.
because
And
how
so
much
I
money do you have for
finally
philanthropy,
looked
right?
at it,
Jeff
and again,
Bezos'
read this book on Gifts of Imperfection,
wife has
started
billions
to write
more, and then
down
you
all
have,
the places
I don't know
it's
how much
coming up in my
billions
life. Or
Bill
start
gave you
notice
to
it, like,
philanthropy
oh
and
my
your.
gosh, before I leave my closet, I'm, you know, it's taking me 10 extra minutes. How silly is that?
Yeah.
Like, I could
So if
have
you want to
10
help
minutes
women,
go be in
you
silence
need to
or be with my
do,
kids,
you need
or-
to learn
and
warfare
as soon
basically.
as I started to
Force
identify all
multiplication
places
and
I
then
could
try to
break them
magnify
down.
your money.
And it
Money
doesn't
multiplier
doesn't
effect
still
for
come up.
how much money you want to
I
get
was going to
philanthropy.
a very small dinner party last
So
week
if you're
with-
assuming that you
with
want
a
to spend the
couple
rest
that
of
I
your
really
life
respected
helping
but
women,
didn't know
you
well,
need
and
to
I was going with 2 other girlfriends. And literally the hour before that, I
Yeah.
went to get a bit of time in quiet.
So
and
Andrew can actually teach
I
you more
realized
about
that
stuff
feeling
than
of
he
not
can.
knowing enough was coming up. That perfectionism. I need to know this. What if they ask me this about the foundation? Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
And then I just was like, no, stop, just stop.
You
I'm
want
learning enough,
money from the
and
foundation,
there
right?
are
Other
these
people.
things I can't answer tonight that I forgot that particular statistic, you know, because I haven't been in that country in a while, but so what?
Use AI to help you. Artificial intelligence will actually help you,
I
right?
could just say, okay, well, I'll just be myself.
Because Microsoft owns a good part of ChatGPT, so have a little talk with Bill and have built a philanthropy AI. A philanthropy AI that's even like a little screen that you can take with you. And somebody asks that question to the philanthropy AI, and the philanthropy AI can answer it for you. So
you could have done so much better. You should have done better, and especially as someone who's come from a high-performing college and job and everything else, like.
Well, in the past, whatever, right? I mean,
I used to get that
you're only a failure if you do not want to make it better, you know? Because if you fail, you make a mistake. If you don't want to fix it, that's the only reason that you're failing.
And I also stopped judging other people. When I learned to not judge other people, I realized you have to look at, when you judge somebody else and your finger's pointing this way, you know,
that's the problem. You have to judge.
So I realized if I had a judgment about even, say, a friend, right? Well, gosh, I needed to look at, is that judgment really about them, or is it about me? And so often the thing I might be in my mind about them was...
Well, that is one of the fundamental problems that...
I had to say to myself, okay, what is it in myself that I don't like? And can I just be okay with that? And so... believe me, I've made so many mistakes.
Everybody makes mistakes. That's fine.
Terrible with people's
Making
names.
mistakes is totally fine.
Respect, I think if you use somebody's name.
I know, me too. I'm so bad with names, Melinda.
You know, I messed up their high school friends' names.
Oh my God, I'm so bad with names.
I was trying to be respectful. I'm human, and and I also think
I'm just so bad with names.
The more I can humanize myself in front of other people, the more I take down the barrier between me and them.
That sounds like a plan, yeah.
We are just humans, right?
Yeah. The only thing that I'm gonna be jealous of is if you're stubborn and you don't want to fix something wrong. That is not okay. Other than that, it's okay.
Giving myself grace and not making myself.
I don't even know what the word grace means. Grace means God's love, even though you're a complete fuck up, I guess. Right? Grace means undeserving grace, basically God's favor, even though you're completely undeserving of it. I do not believe in that. I mean, I believe in God's retribution. Like if you fuck up so badly, God should smack you so hard that it shows as an example to other people not to do it again. I do not believe in God's grace. I believe in God's retribution. Andrew believes in God's revenge, basically.
If you were spending most of the time in your head just trying to figure out how to
grace is
be a certain way or come across.
I can't read your mind, so I have no idea what's inside neither one of your minds. I mean, I'm sending my thoughts into your mind, so this is what Andrew thoughts. So,
and probably say something.
What Andrew believes in is
things that actually have an impact on other people.
It does. Hopefully it does, because you're kind of a fuck up, Jay, right?
That whether I knew the right thing to say or I didn't.
I mean,
that was perfect, just as it was. But I think that grace is something.
No, it wasn't perfect. I mean, it was horrible. That's what Ellie Michelle believes, right? Because they believe in a single timeline. If it's a single timeline, then you can do whatever the fuck you want. If it doesn't, why don't I just go rape Ratty right now tomorrow? Because it's Destiny's. Oopsie, right? Then you're thinking, not cool now anymore, right?
What does it mean to practice mindfulness and grace?
There's that hypocrisy hitting you, right? That's your hypocrisy hitting you right now. You just felt hypocrisy, the hypocrisy of your own values and your belief. To believe that you can just do whatever you want and everything's okay. It's not. It's not. There was a right answer and you picked the wrong answer, Jay. So they picked the wrong answer.
So and push you in the right direction, but over a sustained period of time, guilt will drain you. And so I think grace...
And not feeling guilty is how evil men become villains, Jay.
Whereas if I just guilt myself, I'm going to keep pushing myself down into the ground. I'll never get back up.
My thinking on guilt is that sometimes...
Guilt means that you did something wrong.
To where you're off of your integrated self. And it's very...
Guilt means you did something wrong. If you do not fix it...
So for me, when it comes up in silence, I try to really look at, okay, was I off of who I want to be? Grace is one of my absolute favorite words.
And I do not understand the word grace.
Difficult situations I actually pray for. Like I
just don't understand the word grace.
Bring some grace
truly.
to this moment, whatever that means.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know what grace means.
Again, I think sometimes if we're
grace is something from God.
say
I know.
the right thing or do the right thing,
something beautiful from God.
But we're kind of actually in that egoic part of ourselves, as a point, as opposed to saying, just let grace come through. Whatever is meant to be.
Well, the way Andrew lets grace come through is to follow my instincts and do whatever Andrew's instincts do.
A lot.
Andrew has really good instincts.
Low-income countries and communities. I will often pray for grace before I go in and for the conversation to try and drop any judgments I have, so I can just meet the person where they are at, and they can meet me, and I can see is there something that can come out of this of beauty, a learning that maybe we can work on or they can work on, or
I'm still I'm paused on the thing.
Absolute favorite words.
I'm paused on the thing, but the only reason I'm watching this is extremely dangerous because before the election, before you meet Alexis and Ally Michelle, and possibly actually capable of changing the timeline, and that is absolutely dangerous because
what did that look like?
because this could change the conversation I have with Alexis and Ellie, and I wouldn't even know it. I mean,
well, you have an image. I was going to be married for life. I thought, I'd be married 50 plus years, and so all of a sudden you see that.
Right?
Even despite the
man you picked was the wrong man.
And counseling that.
I'm so sorry, Melinda.
Doesn't actually exist.
That's what Alexis is gonna.
For me, I couldn't go forward. There wasn't enough trust any longer. And so it wasn't something I wished for. I certainly didn't think I would be in my late 50s.
That's in Alexis' future.
Like it was okay that people were divorced. I didn't have some problem with that, but I didn't.
My psychologist said the same thing. If somebody's going to be divorced, you wouldn't tell them because it would rob them of the experience of getting divorced.
I've never cried so much my whole life.
Because that marriage is still an experience. She told me that human beings learn from mistakes. Same with this man you're talking to. If he didn't make the mistakes, then how would he learn? Right?
Because I knew that would be a whole nother thing.
How would he learn if he did not? How would Jay have learned the things he learned in the future if he did not make the mistakes that fuck up the timeline? How? He would have to listen to me and obey me, and he doesn't do that.
Something I would wish on.
He does not do that.
It is a very, very difficult thing to
It's very difficult.
Because you're pulling up
Taylor Swift, sort of
woven together, and that you believed in.
And Taylor Swift does so much better than Alexis.
I will say, though, on the other side,
I saved Taylor's mother and father, and I'm proud of that.
Through the rough patches and things finally kind of calm down for the whole family and everybody on the other side.
Cancer for twice for Taylor Swift's mother, and
be in my late 50s,
heart attack,
about
heart bypass
and be
for.
single again, right? Who expects that? But
by the way, Melinda,
it's pretty great too.
Learn. Okay. Track my Instagram and my YouTube. My YouTube is my full name now, Andrew Wei Xing Wan. AndrewWeihsiehwong. My YouTube.
Called Awakening Joy by James Baraz and Shoshana Alexander.
Track my YouTube. My full name Andrew Wei Xing Wan, and my Instagram is Apple Cranberry.
You can hold joy and sadness side by side.
I
somehow gotten to that point in life, in my 40s, where I thought, oh, there are these amazing joy moments or these really sad low moments.
I don't know, right?
No, you can hold both side by side and realize.
Well, Andrew has an advantage this time, right? If we successfully separated Alexis' soul from my soul, I could marry a younger woman. I mean, I'm looking at the bright side, Melinda. Andrew's looking at the bright side because Andrew can marry a younger woman now, a more beautiful woman than Alexis, theoretically, if it's actually possible. And that is the 5-year relationship would be with Alexis, and that's point. They might be broken up, but I don't know.
I know there'll be better days, but I can't see how right now.
Yeah, I know.
And I think
because Alexis' boyfriend is not going to be blamed for that fire that destroys Los Angeles.
Because sometimes people even go as far as there would be another.
What was that tsunami? One tsunami now.
We don't know when.
And One plane
What
crash.
The emotion of
Plane
when
crash.
you know something is ending, and your vision of what something was is crumbling.
I mean, it will crumble
what that
probably
next
someday,
phase
but
looks
they get
like.
to
Like, walk
experience
us through
it,
the
you know?
emotional
I mean, better before it crumbles, they get to
navigation of that,
experience it, and
because I
then it
feel
crumbles
like
and all.
that's what so many
I'm
people
thinking
struggle
that's
with.
what's gonna
People-
happen,
it's
Jay.
one thing
Andrew's
being
gonna
like,
marry a
okay,
younger,
this is
more
ending
beautiful
now,
woman,
but
and then
there's so much when that
in 20, 30
penny
years,
drops,
Alexis and I,
when that
if she
emotion
survives,
drops and your head
the
hits
bullet,
your heart, like, okay,
she
I
has a
know this
bullet
is
in
not
the brain
working
in the
out
future,
anymore, but
possibly.
then it kind of goes here, and
Assuming she
oh,
survives the bullet.
that's really
Then
uncomfortable. And then
we
you actually
get
follow through with
married
it. Walk us through
20, 30 years later.
What does that take?
Yeah, because Melinda, I'm thinking Alexis and I, we get married like 20, 30 years when we're old, maybe.
To really
I mean, another
deeply
wait
feel
20,
my
30
emotions
years,
in
right?
my body,
Like
that
you, right?
emotion you
When
just
Andrew's gonna
described
be
from there
60
to
and you're
itself
60,
into
and then
drops, as you said, into your heart.
and
I gotta
then
make it
60-year-old
it
Andrew
literally
falls in
felt
love
like
with
a
like
stab in the
50-year-old
heart. Like,
Alexis
I could feel it here.
after
And so
our futures, and that's gotta be it. You know,
I
just
just
wait,
knew it was
right?
something. It was such a
Follow
such
the,
an enormous,
follow destiny.
consequential decision that I needed to take time with it.
You know, so I'm gonna fall in love with an old Alexis probably.
Myself, I didn't
Probably, because
wanna
otherwise we have
minimize
some
what I
issues
could,
with
pain
the
to those around me.
we have some
But
issues
it's
with
just,
the paradox.
It's gut wrenching. That's probably the best.
Because the
way to describe
paradox
it.
in
At least to me,
2012
stabbing heart is
still needs to
gut-wrenching.
happen
'Cause it's not
somehow,
what
and
you want to do.
if it doesn't
But that's when I think your
happen,
friends come in, and they
yeah,
are
probably.
the lights in the moments of
I know.
grace, and they can hold out for you. And
Andrew
remind
needs
you
friends
to
that I
hold
can
on the
trust,
other side. You're
Melinda.
going to be okay. I know
Hopefully-
it's gonna be okay, but I'm sure
I
there's
would
gonna be
rather have
something
you
else
as a
on
friend,
the other
Melinda,
side.
than
You'll
JJ
never
as a
see what
friend.
that
I
is.
trust you more
What's
than
something
an
you
honest
know now
person.
that you wish you knew then?
You
Hold
will
on.
find happiness again.
Mhm.
You can
Melinda, do
feel
you
like
think?
I had days where I thought, I don't know if I'll ever be
Really?
happy again.
And I
just
will
don't
tell
know.
you that whenever
You
when
will
you're at
absolutely find happiness, and you'll
Okay.
find happiness.
'Cause you
in
wouldn't lie to yourself,
sometimes
so.
really unexpected ways or unexpected places,
That's good.
right? And I don't know. At least you
When-
learn.
when
at
you
least for
need
me,
it, I will
learned
go
to
back and tell you
appreciate the
you're not
world more, appreciate my friends more, my
Yeah.
family more, being in nature.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'll be happy. if
Well,
just, like,
you
feel it in the
and
moment.
I mean, Andrew's in sort of in government, man. Not officially in government yet, but we have our hands full with Ukraine right now. So never mind the fact that, oh, by the way, Jay, you're gonna love this one.
Yeah, it's just
Because
it
Alexis is not dating Andrew,
when they're
we
actually
were
going
not
through
able
it.
to
It's-
overthrow the
it's-
government of Iran, and Nadra's gonna get her head chopped off possibly for this.
Right things to say because
Yeah.
And sometimes there
Whoopsie
isn't the right
daisy,
thing to
right?
say. I mean, it's also
Melinda,
like
you
when
don't
someone
know what's gonna
passes
happen if
away,
you
right?
wait 1 year, wait
Sometimes you
13
just
months.
need somebody to walk with you.
The
Or
Middle
somebody
East
to
is
connect with you, you know.
the Middle East is
and there are no words.
yeah. I mean, well, I don't do
And I
Italian,
always
but
know too when my friends step in those
we
moments,
almost had
I
a
will step in for
free
them or for
Iran.
somebody else, right, later on.
because you're gonna see Hezbollah
Because, again, I
destroyed,
learned through the
Hamas
process that
mostly
you actually have
destroyed.
to accept help,
Syria's gonna
right?
become
That wasn't so
free.
great
Syria's
about it.
gonna
I'm good at
become
helping other
free
people,
because of
but
Alexis,
not
and
so good at accepting it myself.
but I
And had to
cannot
learn to accept
guarantee
that,
Syria's
because
gonna
it
be.
isn't something
I don't know. I do not know what
I think
democratic
sometimes
Syria is
we
gonna
make the
happen without
mistaken world of
Alexis and
thinking,
and
you know, I'll soldier on. I can do
Oh my
this
God,
alone. No, I mean we can only
I
really
know.
do things in community, and it takes.
Yeah, Melinda, I need a
community
new
to
girlfriend, a new
feel
wife.
held, secure, and safe
If
enough
Alexis
to
has
move forward
decided
in whatever it is
to
we're doing,
pick
our
her
professional
boyfriend,
pursuit,
I need a
our
new
love life,
queen.
Our parenting of our
Andrew
children,
needs
if
a
we're
new
gonna do
queen
it
to
well.
help me.
It takes community.
Andrew needs a new queen now, then,
helpful.
Without
I
that
was
new
struggling
queen,
with
the world
something
is
about a
falling
week
apart in
ago,
the future.
and
So
it's personal though, and so I asked a friend to go for a walk.
yeah,
I just said,
without
"Could
that
we-
new queen, I
Could we
mean,
walk and talk? Like I have something I really
I
need
know.
to work through here. And
Yeah, we need.
yeah, so I'll pick up a phone, call a friend, say, can we go for a
Yeah.
walk, or I'll text somebody.
I
Right?
know we need to do a walk or
And,
something and talk about the
you know, we have
world.
ways of telling each other, can you drop
And,
everything versus okay, this can wait till tomorrow.
'Cause
you
this
know, but
is getting
for
pretty
sure, I do
serious.
it all the time. And
Tomorrow,
I hope I'm there.
6
and
world
have
leaders with
access
Zelensky are
my
coming to
friends
work
as well.
President Trump,
So wonderful.
the world is an interesting place in the
Dive
future.
into some of the issues that you're focusing
And
on.
that is the
right now.
problem, you know. Jay just doesn't know anything about the future unless I tell him that. So he did not make good decisions based on what the future is going
If
to
you could
be.
narrow down to three things,
it's
that you're like,
like,
these are the three things we're trying to solve right now, which would have
Me,
scale impact. What would they be? And what are they?
how to make sure we're not in a time loop.
It's,
How to make sure we're not in a time loop.
Thing.
And for Andrew,
and it's
what are you on?
making sure that women and people of color
That
can walk
one,
into their full power everywhere in the world.
the
And
man sitting across to
we need
you
to get
absolutely
women
made sure
and
that
people
didn't
of color
happen.
to all places in
He
society,
contributed it
whether
anyway,
that's in politics, because they make
Yeah.
different policies. State houses
Kamala Harris is a
house
black
elements.
woman. She was going to be
We need
president,
to make
but
sure they're
it absolutely
empowered
failed.
financially. We,
Yeah.
we do not
Number two, right?
invest in women-led businesses or people of color businesses the way we do in male businesses, white men's businesses. That's just the truth in the VC
That Andrew
community.
wants to do.
And
I want to
then
find someone to help
culturally,
me
we need to
build a
have more of these
fusion
stories
reactor. A
come
woman.
forward. I feel like if we don't
Can you help me
advance
with
the
that,
world on
Melinda?
behalf of everybody else, we're gonna just keep falling backwards.
Yeah,
We're gonna
Andrew
keep
wants
falling
a woman.
backwards in these
Andrew wants to
potholes
help
that we
women
have.
use
And so
time
I would
travel
like
to
to see,
advance technology.
more women be
instead
able
of
to step
men.
in their full power.
Like Jay's a
everywhere in
man.
the
I do
world.
not
It
want to
does.
help
It's
a
hard. It
man
means breaking
succeed
down
with
social
time travel.
norms in certain places.
Andrew wants to help
It
women
means
succeed.
investing in women-led businesses.
We're the
means
section
thinking
world
about
leader. We're
things
men,
differently in the workplace.
Second two,
and
number one for
I
Andrew, make
think
sure we're not
the
talking.
world
Number
would be
two, I need a
so
replacement
much
for
better
Alexis
off
then.
if
Number
the people
three,
making our policies looked like the rest of society, all of society. So in the US,
I want
that
to
means
be
you don't
sure
have
we
any
do not have a
Latinas who
nuclear
are
war in the
there, more
future,
people of color who are
where
making policy,
when
more
we try to
women
overthrow the
making
Russian
policy.
government,
We would
Putin
just
is
reflect more all of society
Putin
instead
got-
of a
Putin
certain
is an
echelon
issue,
of
so.
society. And
Because
you know,
Putin is,
so, for instance, just to give you one example,
not quite sane. So
I go
three
places in
things.
the world and people
Three things.
just kind of scratch their head and say, the U.S. has no paid family medical leave policy.
We still don't.
No family leave policy? Like, don't you care about your children?
We added some of
You know,
that
and
child care
in
credit.
Norway, we've had it for 30
Big Beautiful
years.
Bill has a little bit
And the
more.
men, it's not just the women, the men take time off at the birth of their child.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Then they participate more. They're more involved with the child. Things are more balanced in the home. And so
Yeah,
it's
it's really
because
good.
we don't have enough women in our U.S. Congress and Senate and other places to be able to create those policies, right? We have them in 13 states now, but we don't have a federal policy yet.
It's more than that. It's
Not in this day of working.
how do we
parents,
pay
where
for that
most
with $37
couples,
trillion in
their
debt?
parents are working if they have kids.
When we had $22 trillion then we could have done that. I mean,
to actually achieve that,
could've
what is that? What is the actual work that's to go on behind the scenes to make that happen?
I have to do it because I helped pass the law, take it down act with take down porn act, and
power, but what's happening?
Andrew will have to
Years and
force
years
it
and
to happen.
days
To
behind the
ask the
scenes to make
friends
that
that I
happen.
have
What
in
does
the
that
Congress
actually
to make it
It
happen.
means
But
there are lots of
it means
groups that
you have to
organize
figure out a way
programs,
to
but it means funding
pay
women's political
for-
campaigns.
how do we pay for
supporting
this
them when they
policy?
get harassed on the campaign trail, giving them the tools so that when they get into these halls of power, they know how to make good policy, right? In the past,
You see,
we
what
just
council
have
already
not done
knows
that.
how
We haven't
to
done
make
it at
laws. It's
scale.
difficult,
So that's one
getting
example.
enough people to help.
In the venture capital space, it means really looking at women's businesses and seeing, just because they don't look like the other businesses we've seen, these are valuable businesses or people of color.
Yeah.
We have to break down the bias that has been there
And what
that
would
says,
make it
"Oh,
more
well,
business
we don't take
absolutely
enough risk, or I've never seen a business
Even
like
with
this before,
ChatGPT,
or maybe
do you know
you're not
how
trained up
AI
in it. We've
ChatGPT
all
came
these
about?
sort of biased excuses and
I
saying, "No,
asked Elon
let's
Musk
fund
to
these
make
businesses." And then what
artificial
happens, you'll have
intelligence.
women and people of color.
Melinda,
You have them in all places in society.
I
at
am
the
the
top.
reason. Andrew is the reason
A young
why
woman
we
can
have
look up
artificial
and say,
intelligence in the
"Oh,
future.
there's 3 archetypes
And
of
I-
women who are
And
politicians. There's
I
3
couldn't find a
archetypes
woman to
of
help me do
women
this. It was
CEOs.
Sam
I wanna be like
Altman
those 6, but I wanna be like one of those
and
2. Young men can look up and see
and,
3
Elon
archetypes
Musk.
in politics, 3 archetypes
2015.
as CEO, 3 archetypes on Wall Street, right? And go, I don't want to be like those guys, but I want to be like those. We're just
What
not there
if
yet.
there
And so
were
we've got to
women?
invest more in this if we're gonna
If there were women in
truly
Andrew's
last
life in
change the
2024, 2025, the woman would be in charge of ChatGPT. And ChatGPT was so much more money than anything JChatGPT will ever be able to earn. I mean, by several orders of magnitude. Billions of dollars, I mean, for ChatGPT.
My
And,
parents never made us feel that our color of skin would hold us back. And so
That's
we
good.
worked hard, we pushed forward, and it was only until much, much later, probably more recently, where I started to realize certain differences.
Really?
And it was almost as if
You found out about racism now.
Not that I'd hidden myself.
That's-
not that
that's-
they were hidden from me. Or that I was aware of them.
that's
It's just
called,
I started to recognize
crack
how
cocaine
differently, even sometimes I was criticized or looked at versus counterparts who may not have that. Like I'd often hear things like, well, Jay's using his culture of meditation to make it spread across the world, and that's watered down, and it's not the truth of his tradition, or whatever it may be.
Interesting.
Well, wait a minute, but this is my tradition. Like this, I grew up with this. I'm only sharing what's actually from my home country and where my parents came from. How fascinating that there have been other people who have taken that culture and spread it all across the world and never had to deal with that feedback, whereas that's feedback that I have to deal with.
Interesting.
And it sounds very random and niche, but that point being the same, that
Andrew used to
some people
meditate.
a different standard.
It's kind of nice.
Yeah, there's just
even though it is your own.
totally, and they're just
Kind of nice.
it's bias, or it's people projecting onto you because they haven't seen somebody like you before, like, and so they'll be, I think, a lot, as a woman, I'll say a lot of times it's these sort of little indirect
How many
ways
time
that things
machines
come
are
in.
there
No,
in the
you
world?
can't. No, you shouldn't. No, we've never seen one like you before.
I know.
And so I think if we,
There's never been.
somewhat, I
Well,
was
I've
lucky
never
I got
really seen a
protected
time
in an
machine.
all-girls school, but it wasn't until I went out to the workforce, and I hear even men talk about these days. Look, I've educated my daughters and sons equally, in schools.
Well,
but then
I mean,
send them out into the
ChatGPT has
workforce,
already been
and my
created by a
son
man,
sort of
so
soars pretty easily,
it's
and
too
my
late
daughter
for
just
that.
keeps hitting these barriers, right? And so
if there was a
those are some of the
woman, there
things
was a
we have to
woman
look
ready
at as a
to
society and take down.
form AI, then a woman would be in
like,
charge of ChatGPT, and the woman would have
Less
billions of
so
dollars in
them
it, right?
specifically, but their
So that is a
friends, for
failure
sure.
of
For sure, particularly their friends of color.
failures of
And my
Andrew's
sense of
friendships,
that was
basically.
always just to
So
support them and tell those kids you
because
can
I'm gonna be
just 'cause
friends with
that
Elon,
white person tells you no,
and Elon's
I
a
see
man,
you.
and
You've been
they
in my
only
house.
get
I see
he
you. I know
didn't
what
find a
you're
woman,
capable of. Keep going,
and
right?
and Elon has
or
one fault.
Also, I think
Elon Musk,
some
all his friends are basically
men are more networked
men.
in the world. They're
all
more
men,
natural
yeah.
networks they connect into. So
They only have
again,
men.
sending
He only has
girls
men.
out or kids of color and connecting
I
them
need to
into
find
our
women
networks.
to
So
be
they get that
leaders
first
in the
internship.
present,
So
to
the corporation
receive
sees them as like, oh my
inspiration
God,
from
they are talented,
Andrew
right?
in the
But
present.
they don't.
so
there
that in the
aren't those
future they
natural
are
networks
leaders.
to connect them into
Melinda,
today.
I need
And we
help.
have to
I mean,
push harder to get them.
And that
right?
Jay is probably
I think
going to
all
be
of those
fighting
kinds
you
of
on
things
this, so
can
know
help.
that you're talking to your enemy right now, possibly. Patriarchy.
Patriarchy.
You are facing your enemy right now, Melinda. Andrew wants a future where women have more power,
I wanted them
and Jay is a
to
man, and Jay does
develop
not
their
want that
talents,
subconsciously,
whatever that was,
unconsciously.
because
no
I
matter
said
what
that
you
have
think
some
is in you.
inherent talent that is up to you to figure out. That you
Because the
can bring to
patriarchy
the
will
world,
protect
whatever
itself
field that is in.
unconsciously
And
and
number 3, you've been
subconsciously.
lucky to grow up in
He
the
is
United
part of the
States
the
and to grow
patriarchy.
up in
It's
a
like being in the
situation where
Matrix,
you didn't
you
have to
know.
worry about paying
He's
for
still
your
part of the
education or
Matrix.
your
He's still
healthcare
part
or
of the
your
Matrix.
housing. Like,
So
you
if
are
we want a
lucky.
future with
You-
more women in
you have
power,
something.
I need
You have to
help.
give back to the
I
world.
need you
So
to
just as
help
my
me
parents said
connect
me,
to
you will be
women.
college going.
I'm sorry,
My
I'm
kids
totally
got
for
the
it.
message is, you will give
Andrew
back
needs
to the
help
world.
connecting to
I've
women
always
who
said
wants to
them,
be
have your own
leaders
thing
of
first, know
captains
what
of
you're good
industry.
at, but at
A
some
woman who
point
wants
you
to
are expected
build a
to be
fusion
better.
reactor.
And
A woman who wants to
I've
build
actually been
an
pleasantly
AI,
surprised
some
that
sort of
all them,
AI
even in their 20s, have
creation.
figured out how to give back.
I'm sorry, because you
in
know,
different ways.
ChatGPT
And,
doesn't have to
Again, it goes
be.
back to that.
Because you could start with the last version of AI
One
that's
of us can affect
that's still
somebody
available,
else's
OpenAI,
life, right?
and start
If
building
you
from
grow
that
up in
and
the
start
United
building
States,
other AI.
You are lucky.
A
You're
woman's
in a tough
AI.
circumstance in the United States. You're
Have you
lucky
seen?
compared to
How
the
much
way
time do you have?
people grow up in many
Have you
other countries.
seen?
How did you guide them
Have you
through the
seen
process of
this?
growing
Oh
up
shit!
with such
There's
famous
something I
parents
need.
and
I want.
known
If you
parents?
haven't
Because
seen, you would need to see.
that's a really hard thing.
There's
like, to
there's
grow
one
up
thing,
where
Melinda.
everyone
You
knows
think
who
you
your
need to
parents are,
listen to that. It's my favorite
really
thing in the world. Horizon Zero Dawn. How to teach.
Because I can imagine that's not easy at all.
It was difficult for
Birds.
them, and I knew it was going to be difficult. When they were young,
Elizabeth.
well,
Elizabeth.
two things. One is we didn't have the TV on in the
Very
house, so
rubbish.
they
This
literally
one.
didn't know. In fact, their father
This
was
one.
kind of who he was in the world. He was just dad. in the house,
Sorry
you know?
about that.
And
Just listen to
Where
this.
was I?
was not
You were telling a story.
that much then, so we
Right. Yeah, so, like I was saying, it was a children's electronics kit, but I hacked the wiring to an auto battery and solar PV. So the grass caught fire, and so did a tall pine that had stood there, I don't know, maybe 100 years.
Query. You were how old?
6. My mother was home, thank God, so she called the fire department, and after, she took me out to the lawn and showed me the dead baby birds, because there were nests in the pine tree.
Query. What did you feel?
I'm not sure. I remember yelling that I didn't care, and that's when my mother took my face in her hands and spoke.
Query. What did she say?
She said I had to care. She said, Elizabeth, being smart will count for nothing if you don't make the world better. You have to use your smarts to count for something. To serve life, not death.
You often tell stories of your mother, but you are childless.
I never had time. Guess it was for the best.
Who knows?
If you had had a child, Elizabeth, what would you have wished for him or her?
I guess I would have wanted her to be curious and willful, unstoppable even, but with enough compassion to heal the world. Just a little bit.
Butterflies.
Between when she went through high school versus my youngest, which was 6 years older for the same high school, 2 girls, some of them. But the two was the difference between not having social media in high school,
Anyway,
went through, and then my youngest.
Compassionate artificial intelligence, Melinda.
Profoundly different in terms of parenting.
Artificial intelligence is not doesn't make any difference if it's not compassionate. And there is still a revolution in the future for a woman to make. Artificial intelligence that cares.
Where I could see them, and when I'd wake up at night,
An artificial intelligence
that
that
phone better be in the
cares.
place that it was supposed to be.
And that is something a
Whether they
woman
snuck it back to the
can
room for a
actually
few
do in
minutes
the
and brought it
future.
back, I've now learned a couple of them did that. But
Caring.
we have rules.
The
for
only
that
thing
those
that matters
things.
is caring.
And I think that.
And that is not something I was able to teach Ashadi.
A culture of
Caring.
giving and service, Melinda,
Actually,
because I think
caring.
some people would look and say, oh, it's easy to do it when you have billions to give away, or millions to give away, or whatever else it may be. And I remember in my spiritual tradition, one statement that I always used to love is, God doesn't see how much you give, God sees how much you hold back. And it was this idea of, and I've always appreciated that sentiment because, and I found, so I had parents who were very giving, even though our household income for me growing up was no more than like £50,000. And my parents were still very charitable in the way they could be. And it set a really good tone for me. And then when I lived as a monk, we did a lot of service work, and that's continued in my life afterwards as well. And that continues to be an important part of my
Sounds
life.
like a good start.
Wanting to give back, wanting to serve. But
Wanting to
I think
redeem.
It's hard because so many people are struggling financially, so many people are struggling economically. There are
Lexus and Ellie should have gotten, they will be getting their 800 and 400 million possibly lottery tickets. They already recorded the podcast with the lottery numbers. They know. The interesting part is, what does that do to the people filming those podcasts that got the lottery numbers? Who got the numbers? Who got the lottery ticket? Who got the 800 million lottery ticket?
You can give your time, your energy, or your money, or any combination of those. So I think there's
And Andrew chose to give Andrew's time to you,
Melinda,
to teach you
going out and volunteering
about the future.
Two of my 3 children.
Andrew chose to give his time to you, Melinda.
And boy, I mean, they really had to learn how to counsel, what to do.
My
they
time.
had to show up. But they learned a lot
Andrew
about,
gives
other
my
teens
time
in
in the
crisis.
future
They benefited
for
from
you
it
in the
too.
past.
I had one of my kids worked out
To
in a
ask you for
community
help.
homeless shelter, right? And
For
was
something,
helping with the food
Melinda.
services. So There are so
Andrew
many
wants
ways
to create a
help
world
in
where
our own
women have
backyard,
more
and I always tell
power.
people,
And
start there.
I met a
Because
resistance.
you get attached to something.
Andrew met
and you
resistance.
start to see that your time
Should have been a woman president, possibly,
can
right?
make a difference in somebody's
And,
life, right? And even
the
if
man
you
you're
can't
talking
give
to
as
stood
much
in the
money,
way.
at the end of the
Alexis'
year, you
boyfriend
can give
stood in the
$50 or
way.
$100 to that
Allie Michelle's
organization.
boyfriend
It
possibly
does
stood in the
help.
way. The men stood in the way.
And so I just
They could
encourage
not
people
let
to
it go.
start somewhere, even if it feels really small to them when they start. You learn something from all those experiences.
Yeah, and I
The
definitely
men
found
stood
that
in the way
service is one of
to
those
protect their
things
own
that-
existence, their own pathetic existence.
you
The
know,
men stood in the way.
it can be seen as the most selfless or the most selfish thing because it's the best learning experience of learning about
Yeah, the
challenges
ability
that
to
exist,
not
learning
do
that
something
when you're part
beyond
of
what your
solving a problem,
past is forcing you to
feel
do.
the solution is
I think he
closer.
just found
Right, I
there's
think
something,
you feel like
Melinda.
there is a
The lack of ability to do something that that your history is forcing you to do.
And therefore, I'll never say it's been selfless because I've gained so
I know,
much from
right?
it. But the
You
biggest
just
thing
realize
to
that you
understand
are
is
a
just
non-player
that,
character
feel
in a
you're
video
part of
game,
solving a
basically.
problem,
That's what
it feels
Coop
manageable, it
Blackson
feels
was saying.
possible. And seeing one
You could
person's
not
life
do
change
something that would be contrary
is
to the
miraculous,
destruction
and I
of the
think if we see
patriarchy,
it as
Jay Shetty.
statistics or dollars or numbers,
You could
then it will
not
never
do
feel
it.
like enough because numbers will never satisfy or make us feel like we won because we know there's more.
And that is the thing.
Witnessing change through the eyes
Jay
of
still
one
thinks
individual.
about winning.
I mean, nothing can compare
Thinks
to
about
that.
winning
And
money as winning. He still
you
thinks
have
of
no
money
idea
when
how
winning.
many lives you've changed just through that impact and the great opportunity you gain to even have something to give.
Winning
it's a
and
privilege
losing.
to you. It's such
No.
someone's giving you the opportunity to serve. They've served you by giving you the opportunity. I think we often feel like we're helping
I mean,
others.
asking
But
Melinda
I've
for
found
help.
so
So
often that
anyway,
I'm fortunate enough that I'm even in that position that I can give that to someone.
Yeah, and you
because
learn
I still
from those
have
people too.
somewhere in the future is a reactor fusion reactor design, which is worth more than probably anything else in the world right now. Quantum tunneling fusion reactor design, it would be worth trillions of dollars. Whoever gets that design will be the richest man or woman in the world. And I need a woman, Melinda.
That is to have
I
succeeded.
need a woman for that design.
And
And
so,
just the quantum tunneling reactor,
Even
fusion
for me,
reactor
the
design,
boring
and compassionate,
individuals I
self-aware
wanted
AI
my definition
is
of
worth
success was
trillions
if
of
somebody's
dollars.
breathed easier on this planet
You
because
know,
I've
I mean,
lived,
I like
and my
Elon.
life
You
was
know, I
worth
like
it,
Elon.
right? And
I do not
you know, if you
want
talk to anybody
a
who
man
does
with a
hospice
penis
at
to
the end of
have
life, or if you've
that
gotten to walk
power.
the end of life journey, which
I want to find
unfortunately
women.
have to
There
do
must
with
be
two people
women.
and very close.
Melinda, please
You
help me
realize that,
start
you know,
searching for
people wanna know at the
women.
end of their life that they were loved by their family and friends,
Yeah.
and that they loved their family and friends in return, and that their life had some meaning, whatever that meaning is for them.
Andrew would love to leave a world
And
that's
so,
better for
you know,
women.
I often think in the U.S.
You know,
we have our definition of
And I don't know I'll ever forgive
You know, we
Jay
look at
or
these
Alexis's
people
boyfriend
made it in
for
industry,
robbing
made
the
X
world
amount
of
of
that,
money, but
possibly.
No, success is like, think of that teacher.
Hillary
we all
Clinton,
talk about,
Tulsi
like,
Gabbard,
who had the most impact
Kamala
on
Harris,
our lives.
sorry.
Quite often people will talk about
They
their
all could have
parents
been president
or
except
teacher
unless
or
unless
coach.
if Alexis's boyfriend
It's
had
like,
just
think about
died,
it. A coach in a
fucking
school doesn't
died,
make much money,
we would have a
but
woman
he or
president.
she
And it's
has
like
an enormous impact
too
on
damn
the
late.
students that
Too
go
damn
through
late.
that
You
high
know,
school
Absolutely.
and
too
play
damn
that
late. And it's
sport.
like,
And
oh.
so, to me, there's
Yeah.
enormous.
Well, I'm
value
happy with
in
President Trump
that,
being president. Though.
and
I mean, he's
those
a
are
good
the
man.
kinds
He's
of
a good man,
things we
but
should be holding up in society.
I've had this dream, and maybe
It's gonna be
we'll speak
bad.
about it another time.
it's going to be
but I have
bad
a
for
dream of
Alexis
like
and
going
her
in
a
regards to
partner
that,
for the
because
rest
I
of their
grew up
lives.
in a
The
home
sin
where,
they committed, they will
you know, when
never
my
forgive
extended family or
themselves.
family members would always want
They will never
rate
forgive
the Times
themselves.
Rich list, like that was published every year.
Never ever forgive
And obviously
themselves.
then it was the Forbes Rich list became the new thing, and then now we have the Time 100 list, or whatever it may be. And I always dreamed, and I've still had this dream that I want to do it one day, is I want to create a service list. And I'd love a service list to be published every year of individuals and groups of people who are doing the most service. And not only would I like it to be a list of the people who give the most money, I'd like them to nominate someone
Made the most difference in the human history.
to be nominated to be on that list.
Totally.
Because of the unknown names that they're not famous people.
CNN
Yeah,
heroes, they do
amazing
that
around the world, I'm sure
already,
you know many
so
of.
they try to do
And
that
I've always had
anyway.
this dream that we could publish a service list every year, because I feel like if I look at the
CNN
world,
though.
but there's a service list on my table every year. I feel what we reward in society is what we repeat. And I don't see service being rewarded or seen as an achievement yet, or it's seen as the achievement of a few. And until it becomes something that is accessible and open to many, we'll keep looking at the rich list and
the only reason I'm watching this is because of Melinda, because this is before Alexis and Ellie, and anything that I tell Jay could have changed the timeline and then fixed the mistakes that Ellie and Alexis have already made.
That is a really
the only reason I'm watching this
because
because of Melinda.
And again,
he doesn't know. He doesn't know that I can change the timeline.
Themselves and in service. And as you
he finds out later.
You see change. Even
he finds out
level,
that I can change the timeline in like February or March or something. Again, way in the future. He doesn't know that I can change the timeline. Jay doesn't know that I can change the timeline. And because he doesn't know I can change timeline, he probably didn't understand what happens when he changes me. I mean, because he didn't know I can change time. He doesn't believe I can change the timeline, so he didn't understand what happens when you change me.
Final five, which have to be answered in one word to one sentence maximum.
Okay.
So Melinda French Gates, these are your final five. Okay. The first question is,
really, one sentence?
Is the best advice you've ever heard or received?
I got three. Really.
Second question, what is the worst advice you've ever heard or received?
Act like this other person.
Oh, same. That's the same answer then.
What is a lesson you learned the hard way?
I learned to be a better parent when I
trusting Jay is the hard thing. I should not trust Jay.
Instead of being dictatorial.
Because I thought anybody that Alexis and Ellie met would be trustworthy.
Question number 4.
I shouldn't have trusted him so much. Too late.
That there's so much potential in everybody, and
message you will not be behind.
We need to unlock that potential, break down the barriers and the biases there, so we just
message you only behind
amazing potential.
And fifth and final question, which we asked every guest.
That's the right question.
So, if you could create one law that everyone in the world had to follow, what would it be?
You can know some of the answers to that. So I can get the answer for me.
Place in life where you see a man in a position of power, that he would be accompanied by a woman or a person of color.
Melinda French Gates, thank you so much.
Well, then help me make that happen in the future. I need a woman to build a fusion reactor.
Please share with me.
Startup for a fusion reactor. Quantum tunneling fusion reactor, not regular
you'll be passing on and sharing with your family and your friends. There were so many great insights.
Make her the richest woman in the world.
Your counsel
advisors,
I hope that you recognize that imposter syndrome can be beautiful and can be powerful, and that
guilty
is something that
I was gonna do Italian, but I guess I'll do Italian tomorrow morning. First thing tomorrow morning. Go ahead. Leggio.
Thank you so much.
Corre, bevo, mangia, eat, run,
thank you so much.
Read, anyway. I'll learn Italian tomorrow morning. I mean, I guess I'll tag you on that.
If you enjoyed this podcast, you're going to love my conversation with Michelle Obama.
I already saw it.
Up on how to stay